I got a story for you today. This story is called Milk. What a weird name for a story. What? He likes milk. He chugs milk all the time. All right. Well, you're going to like this story about milk. So there was this guy, he grew up in the country, little small place like ours here. And so he was a very brilliant young man though. And soon when he finished college and everything, a big company in the city wanted him to come and work for them. So he went to work in the city. And so his mother had told him, when you get to the city, it's a little bit different from the country now, so be careful. He's like, oh, Mom, I'm good. When he got to the company where he was working for, he realized very quickly that most of his co-workers didn't believe in God. They didn't, And so they would oftentimes tease him that he would believe in God. And they're like, you believe in God? And he's like, yeah, I believe in God. I grew up in the church, and I believe in God. And so what happened was one day one of them said to him, have you ever heard God talk to you? And he's like, I hear God in my head. When I think of things, I know it's God speaking to me. And he was like, yeah, I know God talks to me. And they were like, yeah, you're loony. That's what's wrong with you. And so they kept teasing him until one day he started to doubt. And he said, I wonder, is this voice in my head really God talking to me? Or am I really loony? And so he was driving home from work one day. He just got into the car. So he had to drive from the city back to his small town because he never left. And when he got in the car, he said, God, everybody says you're not real. I don't believe this. I don't believe it. And, I hear you talk to me in my head, but am I crazy? Or do you really exist? You have to say something or do something to let me know you are real. I don't want to doubt you. So he was about to start his car to go home, and just as he was about to start his car, he heard, milk! And he went, huh? God? Is that you? If that's you, say it again. Milk! Milk? Okay, what do I do with milk? I don't get that. Milk? And so he sat in the car and he didn't understand. He says, okay, let me just drive home. So he starts the car and starts driving home. And he hears, milk! Milk! Then he hears, get milk! Oh, okay, get milk. God, I got it now. So he drives to the nearest store and he gets the milk. He gets the milk and he's like, okay, God. And now he's in the car and he sits down, I got the milk. What do I do with the milk? And he was looking at the milk. What do I do with the milk? Then he hears in his head, 223 Broadway Street. 222 Broadway Street. What do I do with that? Now remember, he's not from the city, and he doesn't know the city. It's a good thing he had bought one of them fancy cars, so he punched in the GPS. 223 Broadway Street. Okay. And so he starts his car, and he drives, and he drives, and he drives. He reaches to 223 Broadway Street. He looks at the door, and he goes, what do I do? He looks at the door. What do I do? He says, well, I guess the milk must be for someone in there, right? So he decides he's going to knock on the door. So he takes up the milk, he walks to the door, and he knocks. A lady answers the door and says, are you an angel? He's like, no, ma'am. And she looks at the bag in his hand and says, is that for me? And he's like, I don't know. She said, is it milk? He says, yes. She says, then you are the angel. He's like, I don't understand. She said, I prayed to God to send one of his angels to bring milk for me because I had no milk for my baby. And here you are with the milk. Thank you for listening to God. She took the milk and went inside. He was like, wow. That's when he realized God is real. And so he never doubted from that day on. What I want you guys to understand is People always tell you God is made up. God is not real. But listen, let me tell you this. If you talk to him and if you listen, you'll hear him respond. Talk to him sometime. When you pray, ask him to help you with stuff. And you will hear God answer you. Because guess what? I've been talking to him a long time now. And I still ain't in the mental hospital. So I know God is real. And that's children's time for today.